Honorable Speaker, Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Leader of Opposition, Honorable Members of Parliament. Honorable Speaker, it's a pleasure to get this opportunity, an honor to get this opportunity to speak on this topic of clean environment. Honorable Speaker, our natural environment is our most precious inheritance. Our pristine natural environment is under threat from irresponsible anthropogenic activities, and it needs to be protected. Section 40 of the Constitution guarantees, and I quote, "Every person has a right to a clean and a healthy environment, which includes the right to have the natural world protected for the benefit of the present and future generations through legislative and other measures," unquote. Honorable Speaker, as such, it warrants a law and administrative action taken under a law to protect the above right. It further includes the right to have natural environment protected for the benefit of the present and future generations. Honorable Speaker, clean environment contains clean air, water, and land essential for human existence. Our right to clean environment is ultimate. It is the collective right of our future generations and indigenous cultures. Honorable Speaker, a clean environment is the right of all Fijians, and our desire for a clean environment represents a powerful sense of purpose and hope for the future. Maintaining the cleanliness is not the responsibility of one person alone, but it is a collective responsibility. It is a public issue, and thus it needs a national movement. We need to mobilize the people for public cause. Honorable Speaker, it is essential to understand that our environment is not fully elastic in supply of resources and services, is rather finite. We have been increasingly modifying our environment from its natural state. Our past actions have been such that we modify our environment to an extent where it is no longer able to support our needs. So what do? We relocate to a cleaner environment and start the destruction all over again. Now, Honorable Speaker, it is very important we derive the environment. It's not an issue, it's a value, and we need to recognize its value. Historically, environment has been perceived as a free good, which is disposable and renewable, a resource with no value. Instead, its value were recognized as benefits derived from dumping waste and pollutants. Honorable Speaker, while the world has moved on and replaced this mentality, the green and clean, some of us still perceive the environment as a dumping ground. Honorable Speaker, it is important that we recognize the fact that our natural environment is a unique form of capital and that provides aesthetic benefits as well as social and economic benefits. More importantly, it is key to human existence. Honorable Speaker, many times we define sustainable development to suit our economic priorities at the cost of the environment. Gone are those days where we define sustainable development as improving the quality of life through various socio-economic activities while living within the bounds of the carrying capacity of supporting environment. Honorable Speaker, it is important to recognize the economic development and protecting the environment can coexist. We still, however, have individuals who still prefer to reign supreme with their irresponsible actions at the cost of environment. Honorable Speaker, while we litter and pollute our environment, we often overlook the fact that humans cannot live and survive amidst waste. A clean environment is therefore essential for human existence and its economic prosperity, including wealth creation. Honorable Speaker, given the facts above, we still treat our environment with responsibility, treat it as a common good to advance our interests. This needs to change. Honorable Speaker, Fiji has one of the most comprehensive legislation regarding environmental protection. It officially recognizes an individual's human right to a clean environment. Fiji has officially adopted the Rio Declaration on Environment and Development by ratification on 29 December 1993. Honorable Speaker, the Rio Declaration on Environment and Development recognizes the right to a clean environment and provides an overarching principle for environmental safeguard and sustainable development. Honorable Speaker, our environmental-related legislation include the Environmental Management Act, commonly known as EMA, that allows for robust decision-making concerning developments by requiring environmental impact assessment. The EIA process allows for assessment of impacts of a proposed development to enable the decision-makers to decide whether the development should be permitted and what should be the conditions associated with it. Honorable Speaker, we also have the Environmental Management Regulations 2007 that guides the EIA process. Moreover, EIA guidelines have also been developed further. Furthermore, there are regulations to curb litter. Honorable Speaker, the Litter Act 2008 aims to prohibit and regulate the deposit of litter in the environment of the Fiji Islands and to provide for enforcement on the related matter. Honorable Speaker, while anti-litter laws have been deterred some from littering, many still do litter irresponsibly. Honorable Speaker, our ministry recognizes that litter can cause a whole range of problems for everyone in our community, and that is why often we say it is not an individual's problem, it is everyone's problem, everyone's issue, and therefore everyone's responsibility. There are a host of problems that stem from littering. For instance, when discarded carelessly, litter ends up in our rivers, creeks, and drains, causing flash flooding. It eventually ends up in our ocean, threatening our food security or very economic viability. Also, it's alluded to my ministerial colleague, Minister of Fisheries, earlier on. Litter is also a threat to public health as it attracts vermin and is a breeding ground for bacteria. Litter can also be a fire hazard and as negatively affects the images of the communities. Honorable Speaker, litter can also affect the groundwater groundwater table via leaching off the negative elements of the litter. Honorable Speaker, despite Fiji's anti-littering laws and recycling policies, the nation has problems with proper rubbish disposal. There needs to be a paradigm shift to tackle littering problem. As such, our ministry, the Ministry for Waterways and Environment, has begun with the implementation of a new policy titled Clean Environment Policy, which provides guidance for securing clean Fiji for all Fijians through a decentralized, community-based awareness, readiness, and litter enforcement program. In this enforcement of this policy, Honorable Speaker, enforcement of the legislation to prosecute people is the last part, is the last component. The first component is to educate, create awareness, and mobilize the entire community. Honorable Speaker, given the nature of the problem, this requires a mass movement, a national movement, because it concerns everyone. Honorable Speaker, if someone litters in the neighborhood, it doesn't mean that the others won't be affected. Litter affects everyone in the community. Honorable Speaker, the policy further aims at interventional actions that will reduce litter through the effective implementations of various campaigns, readiness programs, and volunteer activities. Honorable Speaker, the aim of this policy is to contribute to the Ministry of Environment and Waterways' long-term ambition to make Fiji cleaner for its citizens and visitors through self-compliance on littering as specified under Litter Act 28. So, Honorable Speaker, we are looking at a self-regulating and self-compliance guideline rather than a legislation which enforces and prosecutes people. Honorable Speaker, the policy further aims to promote self-compliance towards an anti-litter behavior and culture in Fiji and instill environmental pride. So, Honorable Speaker, we need to have a major culture change if we want to be successful in ensuring that Fiji is indeed a clean place. Honorable Speaker, there's a lot at stake. It is not only about households or communities, it's also about industries and sectors of the economy, which will be affected in the longer run if we are not able to protect and safeguard our environment from litter and other aspects of littering. Honorable Speaker, through this policy, the Ministry will appoint litter prevention officers in accordance with Part 2 of the Litter Act 2008. These officers will be trained to enforce the Litter Act Additionally, non-public servants will also be trained and appointed as litter prevention officers as provided for in the legislation. Honourable Speaker, our ministry will facilitate divisional and national clean competitions for villages and communities, as well as oratory contests and essay competitions amongst our children. These competitions will see appointment of clean environment youth champions, clean environment ambassadors, student category, youth category. The champions and ambassadors will carry the clean environment message across Fiji, and similarly, this will promote public consciousness. It is to encourage people to change their attitude towards environment and be the active part of positive change in order to make a safe future. Honourable Speaker, we'll be doing branding of our ambassadors, branding of this particular activity, and we are looking at a national movement for clean environment. Honourable Speaker, a community clean environment unit is being established. Given the nature of this issue and the magnitude of this problem, we are establishing a separate unit within the Ministry of Water and Environment called the Community Clean Environment Unit to raise awareness, educate our communities, and administer the enforcement of the Litter Act 2008. District level activities based on clean environment will be organized by the unit to partake for individual villages, communities, schools, keeping the surrounding litter free. The unit will also liaise and collaborate with all relevant line ministries and authorities. Honourable Speaker, the unit would function around a behavioural transformation pathway. The pathway would include research, education, provision of infrastructure, enforcement, incentivization, enforcement, communication, monitoring, evaluation, and reporting. Honourable Speaker, by introducing this model, it not only would be effective, but would also set a consistent standard for litter in the unit to follow. Honourable Speaker, the Department of Environment has been allocated a total of $260,000 for litter awareness program. The Ministry will continue with the media campaign that already exists through both print and TV channels of advertisement. Through this funding just mentioned, our ministry will assist municipal councils in providing special collection services for white goods, which includes electrical waste, other bulky waste. I just had a meeting with one of the IT companies who are supplying cartridges for printers and toners, of collecting all those and sending it back out of Fiji for recycling purpose, and they will do it at no cost. So we will support that initiative. And at the moment we're registering, Honourable Speaker, we're registering all the formal and informal institutions, faith-based institutions who would want to come with us and partner with us, and we will together do the branding and start this mass movement that we're talking about to make Fiji's environment clean. Honourable Speaker, the government has set aside a sum of $1 million towards the establishment of consistent garbage and waste collection services. A trial program of installing the smart bins that operate under a uniform program is also being finalised. The smart bins, when installed, would provide unique services apart from waste and data collection. They would communicate with the garbage collection agency when the garbage is rising up to, let's say, 2/3, etc. There will be a signal sent to the garbage collection agency that they would need to come and collect it. And that's why you see now, due to this lack of timely communication, in some places the litter bins are overflowing, and it is causing quite a bit of a problem. So it would also ensure accountability is maintained between the collection point and the collection agency's desk. Honourable Speaker, the Ministry is currently in discussion with relevant public authorities on establishing enforcement network for the effective implementation of the Litter Act 2008. Through such network, the Litter Act would not only be enforced by the Department of Environment, but by other public authorities as well. This will ensure that those that litter in public are fined in accordance with the Act. Honourable Speaker, to conclude, the condition of our environment is on a decline, and we must do something now. We should promote environmentally friendly practices in Fiji in order to save the environment for a better future. A clean environment is not a luxury, It must be a right, and it is a massive opportunity for us, all Fijians, to get together and take care of our environment. To achieve a clean environment, we need to join hands and put a stop to irresponsible litter through any means. Honourable Speaker, it is not about us, it's not about households, it's not only about communities, it's about the entire country, it's about not only the current generation, but it's also about future generations, and we owe it to them as well. Honourable Speaker, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak and elaborate on our clean environment policy. And Honourable Speaker, I do hope that those listening those who have listened to this would all join hands, spread the word around, and join our movement to make Fiji a clean place. Thank you.